Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about side effects of having regained weight. If you haven't seen one of my previous videos, I talk about how I had significant weight loss, then regained 50 pounds, and I want to talk to you guys about what were some of the side effects that came along with gaining that weight, because I think so often we get used to those feelings. However, I did notice 8 significant changes, and that's what I want to share about today. Now, before I dive into some of those side effects, I do want to share I am not a nutritionist, a dietitian, a physical coach, whatever it is. So this is just purely from my experience that I want to share with you guys. Maybe you've had similar side effects, maybe it's not related, but these are just some changes that I noticed took place about 3 to 4 months after I started having weight gain. Now, a little bit of backstory about my weight. I have definitely gone up and down throughout the years. However, my heaviest point was right after I had my daughter, and I did keep that weight on for a little bit, where I think I was up at like 236. Now, I will also be using numbers from time to time just to give you an idea of the ups and downs that I have had. However, I am not strict with numbers. I know that muscle weighs different than fat, so please just use it as a reference point as I'm explaining the different set points that I've been at. Now, that weight was around summer of 2018. I then decided summer of 19 to get my health back in order, where I started at like 226, I believe, and then went down to 171. So I did have a significant weight drop of about 55 pounds in that 6-month time span. Now then, if you've seen my previous video, when COVID happened and lots of other stuff happened, I did end up taking a break from taking care of myself and really ended up gaining some weight. Now, I was looking back at numbers yesterday just to kind of see when it all took place, and really within the first 4 months or so from March through June, I believe, I had gained about 20 pounds, and that is when I saw the first of the symptoms that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Now, as I said, I don't have any guarantee that these are weight gain related. I just noticed them around that time. And I will also say, now that I've been carrying the weight for about 6 months or so, where I've been continuing to gain a little bit of weight, I don't feel those symptoms as much anymore because they are just there. It is so sad how we get used to just that this is our feeling 100, where really in the past 3 weeks, I've been working out every single day and my body feels so much better. I'm so much more energized, my joints don't hurt, and I think so often we just get comfortable being in our comfort zone. And I kind of want to break the barrier and share some of those key points that I was aware of because I'd been doing so good and then started not to. So the first side effect that I noticed after gaining a bit of weight back was joint pain. I would have tightness in my knees and my ankle joints. Depending on how I slept or just resting a bit, I think my knees really felt that extra weight on my body. And we do live in a 2-story house, so walking down the stairs in the morning was really tough at times. Now, I did find that when I had moved around for a bit, I got more used to it and the pain kind of subsided, but it was really every morning that I felt this pain, and that is just not something that I was used to feeling. The second thing I noticed was getting out of breath really quickly. I had been consistently going for walks for about 2 miles every week, and I just got to a point where all of a sudden, if I was talking while walking, I would get out of breath for what seemed to be no reason, and there was really no shift other than my weight gain. Now, I've had a medical condition that does affect my lungs, and I actually thought that that is what had returned. Went to the doctor, there is no signs of it. So again, it leads me to think that yes, this was due to the weight gain and my body just feeling exhausted. Now, I have talked about this third point in the past, and again, this just kind of reconfirms it. I don't know that PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, is related to weight. However, for me, I do think I have a better hormone balance when I eat healthier and I am at a lower weight and exercising. The reason I say that is I used to have super long cycles. They could be anywhere from 50 to 70 days in between my period. Now, when I started eating low carb and more whole foods, I did notice my periods became regular, and I was actually at 29 days in between. Now again, as I shifted, I am now at about 37, 38 days in between. So I'm just noticing that when I have a change in the way I eat, my hormones must be changing in my body and therefore affecting my cycles. And that leads me into mood swings. Now this one I think comes because of a few other symptoms that I want to talk about. First off, and some of these may seem obvious, but they are ones that affect the way that we mentally think and see ourselves, and therefore is impacting a lot more than what we think. So the other things I'm seeing is bloating. Of course, you are carrying more water and sugar, you have more retention of water because of the carbs you're eating. So I'm just finding that I feel bloated, therefore my clothes aren't fitting and looking the way that I want them to, which then leads to my confidence being impacted in terms of the way that I see myself in the mirror, how I carry myself, and therefore my mood, because of how I'm feeling mentally, how my hormones are reacting, I'm all out of whack. And so my emotions have definitely been very up and down with family, with myself, and I just find that I can control it better when I'm eating healthier and exercise. Now the last thing that I kind of want to talk about is then I am finding myself being very lazy and exhausted, where I just want to veg out and do nothing for a bit, which is probably my body's way of going, whoa, we've got too much going on, slow down. And the hard part is when you're in this cycle, you have to work extra hard, not just to get yourself up of the couch, but then actually get moving. Then you got all the acid going through your body because you've been working out your muscles, and now you're even more exhausted. However, you have to get over that hump to be able to start feeling better. Now, I will have an update for you guys on the Mad Fit exercise that I'm doing this month. Today I am 21 days into exercising for about 30 minutes every day, and it is feeling really good. I have not had any problem moving my body. Yes, I am sore, but I'm actually enjoying my soreness because that is a sign that I took the time to take care of myself. And it subsides after a few days, so we're good there. But it just feels really nice that I'm giving myself that time, and I'm just finding that my body overall feels better. Now, as I've shared, these aren't things that I think about every day on a day-to-day basis, because really there are ones that I became aware of initially when I had the weight gain, and I jotted them down because I knew I was gonna forget that, oh, this feels different, and oh, this feels different, but it was important for me to write it down because I don't want to forget how good I felt prior to it. Now, we get so used to the state that our body is in, so if we could get used to the state of moving and feeling good, that is so much better than just being in the state of sitting back and just accepting the body that we're in. Now, I know from all the times that I have yo-yoed through weight loss, weight gain, that if you're not ready for the challenge and if you can't commit to it, in my opinion, it's not worth it. I've had to get to the point where I do it for me and not for others, where I am willing to commit and go in 100% and not just give up. Now, there needs to be a fine balance to it, because if I go in at 150%, which I normally do, and I'm like, I'm gonna exercise well, I'm gonna eat well, I'm gonna drink all the water, something's gonna fall apart, and then I just go, whatever, I'm failing anyway, let me just eat all the good junk food. However, if I'm just doing one thing at a time, and I'm like, I can do this, and then a little bit later I add on more, I'm finding that I'm better and more consistent with that, and therefore making a lifestyle change instead of a drastic life change that I'm not going to be able to manage and continue to keep doing. I hope this video was helpful for you. I would love to hear if you have experienced similar things, or if you have other side effects that you've noticed when you've gained weight. I would love to talk to you guys about it in the comments, see how we can support each other through this, and maybe get out on the other side. If you are new here to my channel, I would love to have you stick around, so feel free to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and I will be back next week.